It's all for you. Yeah, yo. There whenever it matters, and even more when you feel like it doesn't. Protect you so you never feel like you wasn't. Know I'm right alongside you. Either that or I'm behind you, but always got you. End of discussion, nothing means more. First one to offer is shoulders for what you reach for. Thought I saw the eyes of the world until I seen yours. And know that I ain't see a better view yet. I'm with whatever, so don't ever you fret. Know that you covered, not a hurdle or a heartbreak. A change what a partake, cause none of them won't ever get comfortable in your walkway. My job is to aware you, fully loaded, prepare you for all of the above that I'm never letting get near you. But still in all, give you every advantage I found. Couldn't find a better fit for them, along with my crown. And since the baton was passed, I've been down. Cause failing's not an option, and dad is not a noun, not at all.
Every year to Georgia Tech, but no one like Caleb Anderson. He's 12.
I'm not really smart, I just grasp information quickly. So if I learn quicker, then I can get ahead faster.
This elite engineering school fell over itself recruiting him.
Plug it in here.
Caleb saw the labs. He met the school's president.
I have heard so much about you. Welcome to Georgia Tech.
Thank you.
He's a perfect candidate to come into our program and be very successful.
Is his admission guaranteed?
I would expect that he would be admitted for sure.
Admitted to study aerospace engineering. Claire and Kobe Anderson, Caleb's parents.
What's it like to be touring a college when your kid is 12?
I don't think anything that Caleb's done has been normal for us.
By age 1, he was reading.
Look at this. Fun.
At 2, he knew sign language and how to do fractions.
1, 2, 3.
I have this distinct memory of going to the first grade class and learning there. Everyone was way taller than me because, I was 2. I could barely walk.
Middle school was awful. It always is.
The kids there, they kind of looked down on me, or they treated me like I was an anomaly, and which I kind of am.
He's taken college courses for a year. His parents now want a university that's the right fit for a tween genius.
We want him to be in an environment where he's accepted and not tolerated.
If he comes to Georgia Tech, he's not rushing a fraternity.
No.
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 Not at all. We're definitely protecting him.
Make sure that when he is an adult, that he'll make a great husband or great father, a great friend one day.
Lots of people think they're the smartest person in the room. Caleb really is.
Does it ever occur to you, you know what, I'm looking at college and I'm 12 years old?
This is my life. This is how I am. And I've been living this way my whole life.
All right. Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Ishmael from That Is Not a Noun. Happy New Year's. I hope everyone had a wonderful New Year. I had a great New Year because I'm truly excited by this wonderful guest that I have on today. But first, I'm excited to have this special co-host with me. I call him Uncle Derek. He is a retired principal, and he is the founder of the Real Dads Network. Uncle Derek, how you doing?
Oh, I'm great, Ishmael. Thanks for having me. And I'm just happy to be here to talk to Caleb as well, and his mother as well. This is great. Thank you.
Awesome. Tell the people a little bit about yourself. Don't be humble.
Well, I'm Derek Phillips. I'm a retired assistant principal for New York City Department of Education. I was actually there for 27 years. I taught math, history, and was also a college advisor. And I'm also the founder and executive director of Real Dads Network. Real Dads Network is one of the premier fathered organizations in New York City. And I'm also credited with doing one of the first documentaries that was ever done that focused on positive Black fathers called Real Dads, Black Men on Fatherhood, that was done in 2000 and had commentary by the late, great Ozzie Davis.
Awesome. And I'm truly excited to have this young man and his mom on the show with me. It's truly a privilege and an honor. You know him from CBS, on all the major outlets out there. I'm truly privileged and honored to have Caleb Anderson and his mom with me. Mrs. Anderson, how you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing great.
I want to thank you for coming on with us and, taking your time. I know you're busy. I know everyone's trying to reach out to you and have interviews and just spend a little time with you. So again, it's truly a privilege and an honor to have you on. I'm going to bring up a picture because this kind of resonates with me a lot. I'm going to bring it up. I thought this was awesome because it's not about the destination. It's about the journey. And Mrs. Anderson can kind of talk about what this picture means to you as a mother.
Wow. Wow. That's like I said, Caleb was on the I guess on my left side of the picture, he was 5 years old, going into second grade. And before that, Caleb was taking classes online with John Hopkins University Center for Gifted. And then I had my other son, Aaron, and I just could not keep up with Caleb's learning. And we decided to go ahead and let him go to school. And this was his first day at school, brick and mortar, going to school. He did go to school when he was younger at Shriner, and then we pulled him and had him go online. And that's his father walking him to class. And then on the picture on the right was Kayla's was 10 years old. So that's 5 years later, him walking in the college campus for the first time with his dad. This picture, it means a lot to our family. You can make plans and goals for your kids, but to see it come into fruition, it's really heartwarming.
Definitely. Caleb, what comes to your mind when you see those two photos?
Um, I realize how much I've grown, both physically and mentally. It, I, honestly haven't paid, too much attention to it, but, this really brings, my journey, into the picture. And, also, I like how my dad, he's been with me, the entire time. It hasn't just been my mom, who's teaching me. My dad's always in the back. He's always supporting the family, and he gives up, his work time to drive me to campus and stay with me. So I really appreciate him.
That's awesome. Awesome. Uncle Derek, you have a question?
Yes, I have a lot of questions. Good. What is it like? I mean, being 12 years old, being in a college campus, and even like doing with assignments. You have like group activities that you have to do, and you're working with other college students. What is that like?
Um, you know, it is a bit awkward at first. Every class, I get a few strange looks, but I really enjoy it. You know, these college students, they really respect me. They see me for who I am. They don't see me as a young kid or an anomaly. They see me at as this really smart person. And, they enjoy working with me, and I enjoy working with them.
That's awesome. Awesome. And Miss Anderson, going back to you, going to like him development at
So you've had
development.
group activities you guys work together?
About the group activity when you guys work in group,
Oh, when we work in groups, um,
group projects.
I try to be, as quiet, as possible. I don't want to seem, immature, but and I think that really surprises kids. They expect me to be, this loud, annoying 12-year-old, but I really try, to conceal, who I really am. Which it may seem like a bad thing when you're saying it, but I really think your appearance does matter, and I think that that actually has helped me enjoy my college experience more.
That's awesome. Awesome. And Miss Anderson, in his early days of developing real fast, how were you able to keep him focused? Because sometimes what happens is when kids pick up things, they have a lack, they'll start complacency. So how do you eliminate that complacency?
Well, when he was younger, right? So the thing about babies, at the time I was getting my master's in early childhood education. So I was getting my master's in mathematics and reading. I'm a teacher. And so I was thinking that I was going to wean Caleb, put him in daycare, and then I was going to go back and into the workforce and work. So I knew for a fact that when young babies, young infant, when they're first born, they're born with a lot of synapses in their brain because they have to make the connection with the world around them. Like, this is father, this is mother, this is hot, this is cold. And what I did was I kind of used that and kind of tighten those, like kind of like it's like bridges, right? So if you don't use them, you lose them. So I went ahead and got my certification in sign language, so that I can use that for Caleb to make connection with the world around him. But what I didn't realize is that not only did I, some people when they teach sign language to babies, they just sign, but I knew that it was important for me to use words and also show him the word. But so what Caleb was doing, because his development was is nurturing nature, right? So natural, he had the natural ability. So when he saw the word more, he knew that that was more. And then but he also recognized more as being more, so he, and then he would just
Mm.
connect other words. And then what I so I only work with Caleb 15 minutes a day. So as a teacher, I knew that it was important, one, for in a home to have stability, consistency, and repetitive, right? So every day around the same time for 15 minutes, I work with Caleb. And then Caleb just, in the beginning, it was really slow. And then next thing you know, by 9 month old, he was able to sign 250 words. And by 11 month old, he didn't even need the
Wow.
sign language anymore. And I have videos on YouTube under Caleb Anderson and Family, because I was trying to record this so other parents can because I just the concept of, I think when Caleb got tested with a psychologist at the age of 3, and then they were saying that Caleb was in the top 1 percentile of IQ, right? And it was rare because to them they just could not grasp the fact that Caleb was a black male with that high
Wow.
of an IQ, because they didn't see that.
Yeah.
And I think the reason they didn't see it is because, one, let's face it, resources, right? So
Yes.
my husband
Yeah.
was a work, he worked, he supported a family, and two, I was an educator and I was able to stay home with Caleb. Not a lot of parents have opportunities and resources that Caleb have. So that's probably one reason they didn't see it a lot with African American kids. But I don't believe the pigmentation or melanin of your skin have anything to do with your IQ. So so that was, to them, was kind of like rare, but I knew why it was rare. So I just kind of used that and in teaching Caleb and building upon that. So the other thing that I did, I was like, okay, I know whole language approach. I was like, but I want him to recognize other words that he doesn't know. So I incorporate phonics also in
Mm.
our 50 minutes learning. And then by one, he was reading words that he's never saw before, and he was only not only reading in English, but he also was reading words in Spanish, which makes sense
Wow.
because Spanish is a Latin-based word based on
Yeah.
phonics, right? So,
Hmm.
so he would, so by the time he went to Shriner when he was 18 months, Caleb was already doing multiplication, and he was already doing reading up to a second grade level. But it's because the synapses in his brain and being able to make this connection quickly. But at the same time, and I'm sure your guests would know, as an educator, there's a difference between knowing how to do something and understanding it, right? So now I had to
Yes.
go with the concept. Okay, yes, he can read these things, but does he grasp and understand and comprehend what he was reading? So it was a constant building up, right? So I always tell my kids that, even to just before this call, I was working with my other two in reading. I said, "Is when you read, it's just one word at a time, one sentence, one paragraph, one page, one chapter." So it's just building up upon that. As an educator, I knew that I had to do that. And then like I said, my husband was incredible in supporting us in removing any barrier, financial barrier, any barrier that we face in for Caleb to receive it, to achieve his dreams. So I hope that helps. So
No, definitely, because it is important, because you laid the foundation for all your kids when it comes to education. Because when it comes to innovation, it starts from the home, in which you
yeah.
and your husband did, and I applaud you for that. That's amazing. Uncle Derek, what question do you have?
One of the questions that I have is in regards to your other children. Where are they in regards to their academic achievement levels? Are they advanced as well?
Yeah, they both are advanced. So they both are in the gifted program here. In Georgia, they call it TAG. So they both are in the talented and gifted program here. And Derek, what I did too is that I'm the kind of person, I didn't want it just for my son. So I did start a program when Caleb was younger called Talk to Your Baby, teaching parents on how to do this at home with their kids. And it started because I wanted to prove to
Yeah.
I don't know. It was really important for me to prove to parents that your children you're not limited, right? Your children are really smarter than it's not just googly gaga. There's more things that you can do with your kids. So it started with like 3 kids, then it grew to like 30 kids. And all the 30 kids were all reading on a first to second grade level before the age of 3. So I was able to prove this theory about it is more important to nurture nature than the natural ability. So both of our and then they have different and then with giftedness, you have different things that they're gifted in. Caleb is exceptional in the fact that his style of learning is auditory. So he's an auditory learner. So he can do really well in a college lecture. He can sit there, literally listen to the professor and grasp everything. My son Aaron, he is more mathematics. Like numbers just come naturally to him. So my job is to learn how to nurture that in him. Whereas my daughter, she's just like this, typical girl, right? She's like this perfect academic, sharpened pencil kind of thing. But what I'm trying to teach her is that to accept failure, right? So she's like, if she fails, she'll cry. But I want her to put herself more out there to expand herself, because I mean, studies will show most girls do not pass physics because of the fact that I don't know what it is, but at 16 they drop out of physics. So I want her to put herself in a situation where she can accept failure, where boys take more chances, So I just don't want her to be limited because of the fact she doesn't want to accept failure. So it's different things, but I'm teaching them and helping them to achieve their dreams.
Well, I have 2 girls. So I have a 25-year-old and a 20-year-old. And my 20-year-old is the junior at Hampton University. And that's just so important what you're saying in regards to girls, because sometimes society, we tend to put people in boxes, and when it comes to our children, it's like, listen, you can achieve anything that anyone else can achieve, but a lot of it just starts with, what we put in our kids early on. So you said very early on, like, listen, these are my children, and I'm going to make sure I am there. I'm an educator. I'm going to make sure I teach them. I've been watching your videos too. I've been watching the videos, but that's so important. And I think it's important for parents to really understand that we can do so much. We are really our kids' first teachers.
Yeah.
When our kids go to school.
Too, right? Because Derek, that in a classroom, the children, I always tell people that every child can learn, but not every teacher can teach, right?
Yeah.
So in a classroom, if I walk in the classroom, and I usually teach in the inner city, and the first thing I do is I have to build trust in my students. So if I don't have that trust, and for them to know that they're unconditional love, it's going to be hard for them to learn from me. So that's why I tell parents, you're the best teacher, because that child know that you love them. They're secure. So anything you tell them, they believe you, right? So just don't be like water boy and be like, mama said, and it'd be like the wrong thing. So
and it's like, and what you with parents, it's like, you still maintain, which is also what I think it's important for parents to understand, you still maintain the primary educator of your child. So when your child goes to school, it's still secondary, but you are still that primary, and what you're doing with your children that's really what a lot of parents need to understand, the important role that we have in shaping the future of our children. So, and Caleb, what you're doing, man, it's how do you function in regards to friends? Because it's always, how are you with friends?
Well, most of my friends, they actually tease me every once in a while, about being in college and being smart. They're like, nerd.
And how does that make you feel?
Huh?
How does that make you feel?
Well, it's teasing, so I don't really care, and I insult them back. But they do recognize that we all have different gifts. And I do have one friend who is probably just as smart as I am. He's extremely philosophical, and we get into political and scientific arguments all the time. And I think I'm one of the few people that um that he's one of the few people that can argue with me, and I'm one of the few people that can argue with him. So we have an interesting relationship.
Yeah, most of his friends are 12, and I think the attitude is that he just go to a different school. So
Yeah.
not all three of them, or three of them are they don't go to the same school, and then he also has cousins that are 10 and 12 around the same age. So so matter of fact, his friend came over and they like Nerf guns, Beyblade, typical 12-year-old.
I'll give him another question. What do you enjoy? What do you like to do for fun?
Well, like my mom said, Nerf guns, um, Beyblade. I swim. I fence.
Nice.
I collect Transformers action figures. My dad got
Awesome.
me into them.
Smart man.
And anime.
Oh yeah, yeah, anime too. I love Netflix and things like that. So I have a lot in common with a lot of my other friends.
That's good. That's good.
And then also I heard you like comic books. Like what's some of your favorite comic books?
Um, I'm a Marvel fan. I don't like DC's writing. That's just me. So I like a lot of Marvel comic books. I think my favorite comic book like series or line was Civil War 2. That was really
Mm,
good.
that's awesome. Awesome. Uncle Derek, I know you got a lot of questions. Shoot away.
I guess the other question in regards to school, are you virtual? Are you at school, or are you doing virtual online learning?
Virtual online. However, we don't have like lectures or even recorded lectures or no Zoom lectures. My teachers just give me assignments and I just do the work and that's it.
Yeah, so he was in person before, but then the pandemic hit, and then
Okay.
he went online. And what he's saying is that the online classes for last semester, there was no recorded classes, no Zoom classes. It was just him and the syllabus trying to figure out calculus and all
Wow.
these different classes. But this semester he has to go in person, even though the pandemic, because he has physics and chemistry, and they both have lab. So he's gonna have to go in person. But if it was our choice because of the pandemic, he will be online. But he prefer in person lecture.
Wow. And then also, how does it feel to be accepted to Georgia Tech? I know that's the big news. So how do you feel about that? It's staying close to home, which is important too.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing. I'm super excited to start actually this fall. But I am a bit worried. I've heard that Georgia Tech is actually a pretty hard school. But I can't wait to start, and I can't wait to prove myself.
And you definitely will. And then also talk about the upcoming event you have coming this Thursday. This is going to be like your first speaking arrangement via Zoom. Talk about that a little bit.
Um, so there is a museum group in Ohio. It's called COSI, the Color of Silent Science. So it's there's a lot of stereotypes about scientists being um male, and there's a lot of
White.
white scientists. So it's basically to put up women women scientists and scientists of all races. So I really think that's pretty interesting. I'm super excited. The people there, they're really nice. um and it seems like a really fun thing, interview, and I'm glad this is my first one.
Yeah, Dr. Frederick is gonna interview him for an hour. It's about 4,000. It's gonna be all the schools nationwide is
Wow.
have logged on or going to log on and ask questions.
All schools?
Yeah.
What?
He's like, this is new to me. I didn't sign up for this.
Yeah, so they're gonna log on, ask questions, but he really focused on the color of science. He's incredible. He has interviewed the first female astronaut in December, and Caleb is the second future scientist he's gonna interview. So
That's awesome. Just to let people know, that link to join that amazing event will be in the description on the YouTube channel. Also, before we end this, what advice do you have to your counterparts that's your same age?
Well, I suppose, do what you want, in terms of, profession, and, you know, if, someone says, don't take the easy route. That's not really what I'm saying. But, do what you think, like, look it up, research, find something that you think really resonates with you. It could be something simple, like coding, or it could be rocket science. Even in my case, it could be, writing, video game designing, anything. But I really think that, not doing something that don't really want to do, or doing something that you think that is boring. You're just doing it for the money. I don't think you should do that, because you're not going to excel at it. You're just going to be an average office worker. But if you really want to excel, and if you want to make money as well, I do think that you should, shoot for your dreams, because you're gonna try harder there than anything else.
and don't give up.
Oh yeah, don't give up. That's
I,
another thing.
I love that. I love that. And Miss Anderson, I'm gonna leave it off to you. What advice do you have to parents that have kids that are extraordinary? What advice do you have to give to them?
I would tell parents to raise the child you have, not the child you want. If whatever it is, the child that you have, whether it's a child with autism, whether it's a child that's the other side of the spectrum that's extremely gifted, God has entrusted you with that child. Raise that child. And I think a lot of time the conflict comes when the parent has one desire and the child they have is totally different. I think, embrace the child that you have and trust yourself that, in a sense, that God has given you everything you need to raise that child. I'm not a rocket scientist. I'm not an astrophysicist. But I am a mom. And I know that, having a child that's extremely gifted, I know it was important for us to make sure that this child becomes a great dad, if that's what he chooses, a great husband, but mostly a great friend and someone with great character. So with that, meaning that even though Caleb was 9 years old, ready to go to college, if I had put him in a typical elementary and middle school, then he would not be working his full potential, meaning that I would have a child that is lazy, that is complacent, and those are not the character of a man, to me, that I would want in a husband. So to me, it was important for him to work to his full potential, his full ability, for him to learn study skill, for him to respect teachers, educators, and the process. So I would say raise the child you have, not the child you want.
And on that note, I want to thank you guys for joining us. Uncle Derek, thank you for being a part of it.
And thank you guys for allowing me to be a part of this conversation. And this has been a great conversation. I wish you guys nothing but the best. And I know, you're going to do very well.
Definitely. And I want to wish everyone out there a happy new year. And we're out. Peace.
Peace.